Hello IED. In this video we are going to look at adding some properties to the components that we have modeled in this top-down model that we're working on for activity 1.2.3. We are going to add some physical material properties as well as an appearance property to make these things look a little nicer. Right now they are all shaded this dark gray, and the default setting in Fusion is to make everything out of steel. But we can change that, and we're going to do that now by working in our browser here. I've got my 6 models. We are going to change all of these to make it a different material than steel. We're actually, when I look at these, just looking at the grain of the wood and knowing the price point that these types of toys are made out of, we're going to make this a pine type of wood. Which changes a lot of properties, actual properties here in Fusion. It's going to change the weight that's being calculated by the shapes that we're drawing. It's going to change the projection in terms of material cost. There's a lot of things that can kind of correlate to what we see here in our physical material. So let's go ahead and change that. How we would do that, I'm going to do just one object, but then I'm going to show you how to perhaps do them all here. Underneath triangle 1, I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to go to physical material. It's going to open up a dialog box over here on the right. It takes just a second to open, and I've got a lot of choices for what I can actually make these products, what they're made out of. I'm going to go down to wood. I'm going to left click there to open up that option. You'll see that we see a ton of options. Anything that actually has a preview here is something that's automatically downloaded through the Fusion material library. Other ones we'd have to go and make specific downloads for. But pine is one of them that is ready to go, so I can left click that. And I can literally, I'm going to left click and hold. What I'm doing is holding my left click down. I'm going to drag that over. I'm going to place that on that material. I believe I can actually even work through and do all of my components in one shot. Even though I right clicked on triangle 1, I can add this property in to each of my components, make them all out of pine. I really like how it changes the direction of the wood grain based on the surface that you see there in that circle, the 2 cylinders. I think that's a nice touch. Now we have all of our components made out of pine. I went ahead and hit close there, and now instead of these being represented in steel and having a weight that corresponds as such, now all of my components have the properties of pine. And they look that way too. But as you know, in our construction blocks, there are different colors. It looks like the pine has been painted, and we can reflect that as well here in Fusion using what we call the appearance. So I'm going to left click on one of my components. I'm going to go over here to appearance. That's going to open up another dialog box. And in here we'll see that we've got some steel satin and then the pine that we were working with previously. Steel is the default, pine is what all of our objects actually are now. I'm going to scroll down here for appearances. This isn't going to change necessarily the properties in terms of the weight, but it is going to change how it looks to us. And I'm going to go down to paint. And for these, I think we're going to use a glossy paint. I think that would look nice. We could also go with like a powder coat smooth or a powder coat rough, but I think a glossy paint will look good for this application. And as I look at our blocks, we've got a number of colors, and I invite you to kind of just be creative on which colors you want to use. The colors that are in the block, the blocks we have here in class are going to be blue, green, red, and yellow. I've got 6 objects here, so I'm going to repeat a couple of my colors. My favorite colors happen to be blue and green, so I'm going to do 2 a piece of those. I'll make one of the triangles. Let's go ahead and make that yellow. I'm going to make another one of the triangles blue. I'm going to make a rectangular prism green. I'm kind of doing this randomly. I want to space out my colors a little bit to where it looks nice all set up together. I'm going to make this cylinder here red. I'm going to make the half cylinder, let's go back to blue, and I'm going to make the arch, let's go green with that for Zionsville, love that, close, there we go. Now I have all 6 of my objects reflected very nicely. It's a little dark, maybe I'll change one of these blue ones to another yellow one. I'm going to make that half cylinder, I'm going to go back to appearance, I'm going to make that one yellow. There we go. I had to remove the previous one, add in the new one. There we go. I like that. That looks nice. We have now, in this video, shown how to change the material properties of models or components that we have modeled in Fusion, as well as the appearance. And again, we're using our browser, we're right-clicking to do that. You can access this from another direction as well in Fusion. Oftentimes we can find what we need through multiple avenues, but this is one of the fastest routes, is just working through your browser, right-clicking, and choosing either, again, physical material or appearance to make these adjustments on these components. Quick little video, hope that was helpful. Can't wait to see your final work.